Welcome to Big Ideas Small Business. Today we have the pleasure of talking to Kelly Christensen with HCK2, and we have an exciting subject for you.
You're tuned into Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen brings energy, focus, and creativity with the most cutting-edge tools and systems needed to grow business, drive profits, and achieve dreams. Ready to rise? Here's your host, Doreen Milano.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Today we have the pleasure of Kelly Christensen, and we are going to be talking about the danger of a leave it and forget it mindset when it comes to your website, your social media, and your online presence. Welcome. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm so glad you're back.
Good to be here.
So, set it and forget it mentality with social media and websites. You and I were talking about my website before we started all this. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that we were discussing was the need to keep your website up and fresh. And there are major changes that are happening with Google right now.
Right. Google just changed their ranking in June 2021.
Oh boy.
Which means that's right. So they changed the way that they rank websites. And so they have 3 new factors. And what that means is that impression shares changed, which means that somebody that was on page 1 might be on page 2 now. And that means that phone calls stopped for some advertisers, some marketers.
And that could be a big deal for small business.
That's right.
Especially small family business, right?
That's right.
So when we look at small family business, many times those individuals don't have somebody like you in their corner that are helping them with that process of keeping their website fresh and letting them know what they need to have changed so that they can continue their ranking on Google and other social sites, right?
That's exactly right. And one of the things we're actually finding right now is there are a lot of small business, mid-sized businesses that have had a set it and forget it mentality to their websites. And so they hired somebody to put a site up, and then they said, great, I've got a site, and then
I'm done,
and I don't have to bother with worrying about hosting. Now it should do its job. A site represents me, and so that's all I needed to do. And they do the same thing with social channels. Well, I put up a Facebook page, or I put up a LinkedIn page, and so, now I'm done. And I don't have to answer when people post something. And people post a comment, I don't need to answer that. It's interesting because social media is social.
It's supposed to be.
It's in the name.
It's supposed to be social.
Right. But they're not social with it. So if somebody says, wow, I love your product, and nobody answers, it's kind of insulting, right? So you should say, I'm so glad you love my product. You should answer back. If somebody complains about your product, you should say, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That's actually not what we wanted to happen. Tell me more about it. And I'd love for you to talk to me offline about that, right? Everybody sees that somebody's complaining and you don't even care enough to answer that, right?
So as a consumer,
that's right.
Right? I shouldn't care about your product more than you do.
That's exactly
as the provider of the product.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so if I'm not willing to talk about my product or engage you in that conversation, I have completely told you I don't care.
Right. So what we often find is you can easily tell if there's been a set it and forget it mentality if there's inconsistent cadence with the posting. If, you see that somebody posted up on social media at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday and then didn't do anything for 2 weeks, and then 9 in the morning on a Tuesday, and then, that's an inconsistent cadence. That means that there's a really undisciplined approach toward their social media, which means that they really don't have a plan, and it means that they're not following any best practices. That's a set it and forget it type of a symptom.
What's the real danger in that?
The danger in that is that you're not, when you don't follow best practices, then you don't actually have followers. You're not watching for engagement. You're not going to get followers or engagement with your social media. And when your social media is not following best practices, Google doesn't rank you as high.
Right.
Google cares. Google's watching that. I don't think people know that. And then when you're not tethered correctly to your website, and a lot of people don't tether their social media to the website for backlinking, then Google notices that as well. And then you get ranked lower for that. When you get ranked lower by Google, then you get less of the pie that Google allows for impressions. Those impressions dictate whether or not you're on page 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Or 10.
Or 10 in a category, right?
Right. So what you're really telling us is that the whole point of a website is engagement.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And you have to link that engagement to your social media so that the impressions are ranking appropriately.
Right. Everything that you invest in for your business should work together in order to raise your ranking with Google.
Awesome. So when we go through this and really take a hold of this issue, what has to happen?
Your ranking goes higher. All of your owned media, all of the media that you own, start singing together, working together really well.
Okay.
And your ranking goes up. Calls come into your company because when people search for your company or search keywords that have to do with what your product or service is, your name comes up in Google.
Awesome.
People find you that wouldn't have known about you otherwise.
So Kelly, what would we as business owners and people that have these websites, what would we actually have to do?
Well, you would have to be aware that Google is ranking things, right?
Right. Which I have been, and
Right.
I try and do everything I'm supposed to do, but when they change what they're doing, then I have to have a new conversation. And since you take care of all that stuff for me, I have a new conversation with you. But most people don't have you
Right.
to call up and say, okay, what do I have to do now? What do I have to change? What makes it work?
Agencies exist for this, right?
Right.
So if you aren't going to do this yourself, then hire an agency to do this for you.
Okay.
Agencies, marketing agencies can do this for a price for you. And so they'll have monitoring tools that monitor what your competitors are using for keywords related to your business.
Right.
If a competitor is using AdWords in your industry that are working really well for them, then you can use those same AdWords, keywords in your own business. You might not know about, so you can competitively stunt your competition with.
So is this where we have to be very clear on our differences as providers of whatever we're selling on our website? Is this where, we want to bring out those differentials that make us better?
Yes.
Within the keywords?
Right, your differentiations.
Yeah.
Right. You want to do that, but you also want to just be aware. A lot of times I think you get so in love with who you are and your own acronyms and your own products and services as a provider of a product or service, you might not know how your consumer looks at your product and service. Make sure that you know and you have a finger on the pulse of how your consumer's looking at your product or service, because you might talk about your product or service in a certain way and your consumer doesn't talk about it that way.
Right.
You have to know how they're talking about your product or service because they're the ones putting words in a search bar. And those are the words that are pulling something up. If you don't know how they're talking about your product or service, and those same words that they're putting in the search bar aren't on your website or on your social media, then your name's not coming up.
Right.
Right? your name's not coming up if you're not aware of how they're searching for you. So it really matters how connected you are with how your consumer sees you. So, getting into the mind of your consumer, knowing how your consumer sees you and talks about you, understanding that is the most important thing.
That means that you actually have to be talking to your consumers.
Correct.
You have to be engaging with your clients.
Exactly. Social media does a good job of that, right? That's a nice way to talk to your consumers if you are actually socializing with them, back and forth, talking to them. That channel's great for that.
So when we go through and we start having those conversations, it's a good idea to record those conversations so that you can pick out those key words and make them sing for you.
You can.
So that's one way to do it.
You can do that. You can do that with, surveys too.
Absolutely. So when we go through and we do these actions and we choose the keywords and we go in, and if we're doing it ourselves, we can go in and make those changes on our websites ourselves.
Right.
Correct? Well, that's awesome.
It's important to do that.
Yeah.
You've got to find out how your consumer talks about you, what your consumer's keywords are about you, making sure that you're not using your own kind of jargon. A lot of times we get in love with our own jargon.
Absolutely, I understand that. So we're going to continue with this conversation in just a moment. We're going to talk to our sponsors right now. We'll be right back.
What does it mean to devote your life to the truth? Does it mean investigating communist subversion here in America? Does it mean exposing the deadly fentanyl crisis in the Midwest? We're spending late nights and covering deep government corruption? Does it mean persevering over 20 years, even after 4 masked men set one of our printing presses on fire last year? Because at a time when America's traditional values are under attack, it's the responsibility of righteous journalists to uphold truth and tradition.
Business runs on technology, and human beings are creatures of habit. Unfortunately, not all our habits are good. Technology, when it works, is supposed to make our lives easier, creating routines that allow us to protect customer data, track our progress, forecast the future, communicate better, and move much faster. So, you need technology solutions that work when you're not working or simply not paying attention. Smart technology solutions, making the complicated uncomplicated.
Hi, we're back, and we're still talking to Kelly Christensen from HCK2, and we're talking about jargon and how it can really break your website. So let's talk about that a little bit.
One of the things that I would say is that a lot of people don't understand that the first 150 words that you put into your About Us section in LinkedIn, and it might be different now, they changed that up too, but maybe the first 90 words, the first words, let's just say, and you can double check if it's the first 150 or first 100. On Facebook and LinkedIn are the words that are picked up by Google.
Okay.
So make them strategic. So don't put in lots of words that people would never put in the search bar. Put the words that people put in the search bar.
So when you're introducing yourself on LinkedIn or Facebook or on your website, don't use words that are not going to be search words.
Right.
Right?
Some people take a product brochure that they've used in maybe collateral that they've taken to an event, and it's very heavy on lots of gobbledygook. that people would never put into a search bar.
So, for example, when I go out networking, I'm a net revenue acceleration strategist. Well, nobody's ever going to Google that. But the reality is that's what I do.
All right.
I help people create additional revenue in their top line to their bottom line.
So if I was looking for somebody like you, I would not say net revenue accelerator. I would say person to help me generate revenue.
Right.
That's the word.
Or
that
cash flow.
Cash flow.
And
cash flow expert.
so
that's what you would want to put into.
What's going on
Yeah.
is that a lot of us get stuck in our own languaging. And that's what's going on social media. That's what's going on our websites. And that's what's going on our Facebook. And it's not connecting.
That's right. So you need to be speaking the language of the people that are searching for you, particularly when you do your About Us section on your social media.
Awesome. That's a huge tip. And I would really suggest that everybody in the audience take a moment and go, when you get home today, go and look at your About Us sections and see if they are strategic. Are they using the keywords that people use to try and find you?
Also, I mean, only people that are significantly older are going to understand this, but back in the old days when there were yellow pages, you would, people tried to cheat and get to the front of the sections
the
by doing
AAA, whatever.
AAA action,
Yeah.
aardvark, that
Right.
whole thing, right? And so some people have loaded up their About Us sections with just, one
Keywords.
word or a keyword.
Yeah.
Don't do that because Google picks that up too. And that's,
It's got to be a sentence.
and you actually get,
It's got to mean something.
that's right. So you don't put just air conditioner, air conditioner, air conditioner, air conditioner on there 15 times if you're a contractor for air conditioners. That's cheating, and that's also something that lowers your rank.
Well, that's not a good thing, ever.
But-
so how can we move forward when we find that we've gotten ourselves stuck in the jargon trap?
Well, just don't speak in jargon. Understand what the rules are. Understand what the best practices are. Educate yourself on best practices if you're doing it yourself.
Okay.
And if you're not going to do it yourself, hire somebody to do it, but don't set it and forget it. No matter what you do, don't set it and forget it. And understand that all of your owned media, and your owned media is everything you own. You have owned, paid, and earned media. Those are the three types that you have in a business. And so your owned media is anything you own and operate by yourself. That's a website, that's your email, anything that you in your database that you push out, right? Anything that is outbound. So that's your website, your social media, and your email, usually. Those three things
and
have
paid
to...
media is?
Paid media is anything that you pay for. And then
And
earned
earned
media is social media, which is when you earn virality, right?
Okay.
And PR. That's what those things are. So those are the three buckets of media that you play with in your sandbox. So,
And you guys play with all three of those?
yes, we do.
Okay.
What we do is we take a marketing plan. That's why we call ourselves an integrated marketing agency. We take all three of those and we make sure that we put them on one big grid and we watch how those three work together on your behalf. We make sure that we heavy up and we lighten up on those on one big grid throughout a campaign. Right.
Okay, so let me make a confession here. I am a set it and forget it person. Social media drives me crazy. I cannot deal with it. It sends me down a rabbit hole every time, every single time, without fail. So I hire people like Kelly to keep me straight and make sure that I'm not going down that rabbit hole every single time I sit in front of a computer. So what I'm really telling you all is that someone like Kelly can be on your side and really support you through the intricacies of social media and how we have to utilize it to help our businesses grow. It's a really simple concept.
It is.
And if you have any questions, tell me more about HCK2, because I know it's a family-owned business.
It's a female-owned business. Heather Capps is the owner. And then
Her daughters work for
her. Daughters work too. Well, one of her daughters, Kaylee, works for her too.
Okay.
She's in charge of our social media, actually, for HCK2. And then Cameron is her other daughter that works outside the business in sales and marketing. We are 25 years in the Dallas market. Heather Capps has run the business that entire time. We manage like owned, earned, and paid media. We are experts at PR, and we're assigned by Forbes as one of the best PR agencies in the nation this year in 2021. Very proud of that.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It really is.
Thanks. But we also do social media, digital marketing, web dev, creative strategies of all kinds, and so we can we actually play in the small business to mid-market is really where we find our sweet spot, but we can also manage enterprise-sized businesses as well.
And do you, as an agency, also do drip campaigns for your clients
Oh, sure.
and really go the deep dive?
Oh, absolutely. What we do, our process is where we start with a discovery meeting with our clients to understand what the business problem is. And that's where we uncover whatever the pain point is. Since we don't have a media company in-house, it's really important to us that we don't have a media company in-house because we don't want to have some sort of a connection to media. We want to be media agnostic with our solution.
Right. And I actually learned what a drip campaign was from you. So can you enlighten the rest of us as to what a drip campaign is?
Well, in the context of can you remind me when we were talking about drip campaigns, because there's lots of different types.
That's true, there are. But let's say we have a CRM and our clients sign in for our free whatever,
Right.
and they get added to our CRM. And a drip campaign with regards to email is when we are emailing them out on a timed
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes.
segment, right? More information about who we are, what we do, how we engage, and how we make a difference for our clients.
Right. And so when we were talking about that, it's a very intentional way that when you're introducing yourself, you do it in a way that, like I said, is intentional, to where if somebody comes in through a certain channel, an email, that you understand how they came in to talk to you, and then you welcome them on day one, and on day 3, you make sure that they read your email and talk to them about something else, and then you, on day 5, ask them if they had any questions, and then let them know that you do also something else. And then on day 7, you make sure that they understood what you told them on day 3 and 5, and introduce them to something else, and make sure that they have a 360-degree view of you by day 7 and 11. But it's a way that you introduce yourself slowly to somebody, because we know that people don't read all their emails, and they need several touches until they really truly understand or read or understand who you are.
Right. And I read recently that because of media and what's going on around us, the marketing piece that is ever present in our lives, we become numb to marketing. We become numb to marketing messages. And so when we go and sit at our email, I go, delete, 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 delete. I don't even open them. And because I get home at the end of the day and there's 250, 300 emails, most of which are marketing pitches to me. And if I'm done for the day, I'm not going to look at marketing pitches. Right? I'm done. But the bottom line here is it could be a video. I will watch all videos because I don't know what the message is.
Right.
And if it's somebody I know or somebody that I want to know, I'm going to pay attention to what that video is.
And if you've done your homework as a marketer and you want to capture Doreen's attention, you would know that she's a time-starved executive, and maybe the subject line is, this isn't another boring email. take a minute. Lean back and take a minute.
Yeah.
We know you're really busy, but you're going to want to see this. Might just be the subject line. That might stop you right in your tracks, right?
Yeah, so it's being strategic again.
Right.
About who your client is. We're going to take a moment and we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
My American dream is to help you stay healthy and energized so you can live your American dream.
Our American dream is equipping future generations of American dreamers.
My American dream is to protect my community so they can live their American dream.
My American dream is to bring you some spice and flavor to your life.
Our American dream is ensuring what's most valuable to you.
Our American dream is creating opportunities for healthcare providers so they can have their American dreams.
My American dream is serving our business community and advocating for all of your American dreams.
Business run.
Hi, we're back, and we're going to open it up to the audience with a couple of questions. John, you have a question for us?
Yeah, so what's more important, social engagement or creating new content between the two?
I think the answer would be that it would all depend on the goal of the organization. Because if a client came to me and wanted and needed new content, or the content was not aligned, right, with what we were talking about before, right? If the content was gobbledygook and jargon-ridden, then we would need to clean that up because it wasn't aligning with what the search terms were. That would be number one. But at the same time, if no one was engaging, then we would need engagement to rise. I think actually the answer to that question would be that the content would have to clean up first. It's chicken and egg, right? Because the content would have to be cleaned up first for there to be engagement to begin with. Now that I think of it. Right?
I understand.
Right.
Okay.
So that's wonderful. Kelly, really quickly, how can we get a hold of you?
Well, we're located in Addison, Texas. You can find us online at hck2.com and check out our website. And you can reach me at kelly.christensen at hck2.com.
And that's awesome. I am so glad you were able to be here today. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I can't wait until we come up with the next topic that we want to talk about when it comes to marketing. It's a juicy little subject.
Thank you, Doreen.
There's lots and lots to talk about.
It's great to be here.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
You've been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
The fact is, business has changed. Engagement has changed. And for us to recover our businesses and our communities, we have to engage differently. If you want to have a serious conversation about engagement, community, and your business, call me, Doreen Milano, Visions to Excellence. I'm an executive coach. You can reach me at 650-483-5798 or contact me online at v2e.biz. That's capital V, number 2, E.biz. Let's have a conversation.
This has been Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano. Doreen Milano solves problems for small and mid-market family-owned businesses and service-based industries. To work with Doreen, go to v2e.biz. For guest and sponsorship information, call 650-483-5798. Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano is produced by Offbeat Business Media for the OBBM Network. For OBBM Network programming information, call 214-714-0495. Unauthorized use of any part of Big Ideas Small Business with Doreen Milano without prior permission through the OBBM Network is strictly prohibited.